Here we go. Hello. Do. This is where all these thousands of notifications would be sent out to every single one of my subscribers. Do. So, YouTube, apparently I'm not live. Let's have a look at multi-stream. Hello, hello. Is the audio okay? Is anybody home? Nobody's home. Friday night all alone. Come in, come in. Come into old Gibbsy. I won't bite. Do. Okay. So not only are you guys not getting notifications, it's not even showing up in my own YouTube channel. Am I actually live? Hello? Is anyone out there? Do. Circle of Tone. Live. 3 days ago, apparently. Come in, come in. My glorious sausages. Still not on my YouTube channel. Come on, YouTube. What's going on? Okay, let's see if I can search me. It's insane. There I am, live. Glorious. How's it going, boys? Let's go change my chat up a little bit. Boop. Thank you. Try not to hit the mic. Is audio okay? Big meaty vanilla sausages. Ugh. Bill Boyd, how's it going, boy? Are you the Bill Boyd that I used to work with? We got Icy Satan, Fall Like Lightning. Hey, we got Ryan Swain, back at it again. So what is crack-a-lackin'? What's going on? Things have been good here. Just haven't had a chance to pop on. Well, I have, but I just haven't been, what's the word for lazy? Motivated. I've been a bit lazy. Bill, it is you with Phantom. God damn, it's been a while. It's been a while. Friday. How many drinks have you had, brother? Yeah, guys in chat, Bill Boyd used to work at an old office I used to work with called Vision Research, and I was the software test tech there. But Bill was holding up that place. He was the main man when it came to engineering and repairs. BMC guitar. Quick hi from me. Can't stay long. Out teaching guitar for the day. Well, good luck. Don't forget to teach them how to trem pick, because that's the only thing kids want to play these days. With the black metal bots, churning out the classics for the rest of the until metal is completely dead. Ryan Swain. Owen, outside the lack of stardom, do you think musicians are doing too much in the creative process to a point where everything is mediocre? Well, I think what it is with modern metal, right? Take Tesseract. They just brought out another album, okay? They're giving their fans what they want, right? Which is modern gent. But these bands, they have to put They have to put everything in one song. Everything. From the computer whirs, clicks, glitches, to the glitch sounds, you know, to the lo-fi intro, to there's got to be heavy vocals. There's got to be screamed heavy vocals. There's got to be obviously the boy band clean vocals, and there's got to be the Strymon. There's got to be the Strymon cleans. There's got to be the breakdowns. There's got to be the so when all these rules are in place, even for who I consider to be the best gent band, which is Tesseract, right? I think they're the best. So when the best are doing it, 10 years on into their career, what is everybody else doing? They're all doing the same fucking thing. So it's like metal by numbers is so contrived. Like, I got pissed off listening to Tesseract. I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to say it. Because it's so fucking done. I mean, they're good at it. And they are giving the fans what they want. Which is something that people like Metallica can't even do now, even when they try. So it's like... And it is good. Relatively good. But I just can't... What happens with me is that episode of South Park where The Simpsons did it. Right? Every new band that's coming out, I'm like, oh, Sixth did it. I'm not hearing that band. I'm hearing usually you can use your influences, right? You can use your influences as a positive. Okay? And instead of using them as an influence as a positive, they're actually becoming the bands that they love. They are becoming them. You know, down to the tattoos. Down to dressing up like a fucking barista. You know what I mean? It's production is one thing, but it's the rules that are killing me. It's the rules. The gent fucking, you know, it's and when the bands that start these genres, Tesseract are pretty early into it. When the best are doing it, what hope do the little, you know, the wannabes have? And it's like, there's no identity. So technically, back in the 70s, there was, if you're lucky, 1,000 bands that had access to multi-track recording. Now we have literal millions of musicians, millions, right? It's just so many more than was available in the past. So where is this amazing music? The music doesn't happen if you Google how to be a musician. You Google how to be a musician and you all become each other within your little genre, you know? So we got everything from the heavy metal 2-pedal to the orange amps to the green amps to the it's just like, if depending on what if you're in brutal death metal, you've probably got a, you know, solid state Marshall valve state. You know, you jump in through all these fucking hoops. So yeah, it's not so much the talent, the writing talent isn't there. The writing talent isn't there because everybody's put all of their energy into this DAW fucking learning how to record just on its own is a lifelong pursuit, right? So when you're putting in that dedication to learn how to record, your playing could be suffering. But since you usually have the guitar in your lap and you're in front of the DAW and you're tracking, the playing is better than ever right now. But you're not concentrating on songwriting. You're concentrating on jumping through these YouTube hoops of all these channels that teach you how to record, not knowing that all these guys that are teaching, that the guy on the other side of the camera saying, this is how you mic up, this is what you use, you know, this is how you compress, this is how you master, not realizing that these guys haven't had a hit for 20 fucking years. Their hits are dried up. In fact, a lot of producers now are making money more from their YouTube channels and from promoting gear and getting cash, you know, monetized content than their actual credits again. You know, because they're getting flop after flop after flop. And so why are we listening to them? Why is nobody actually stopping to think about these modern producers? They can't write a fucking hit for shit. So why are we listening to them? You know? Julian, how's it going, man? You sad, shriveled sausage. Brian Jenkins, how's it going, dude? Good question, Ryan. JSA72. I think many new bands sound the same. They do. And there's obviously within a genre, you can tell straight away who their influences are, and then you can tell straight away that they're not being authentic, they're not being themselves. You know, progressive metal is the biggest oxymoron in the world. It's so fucking contrived. Metal by numbers. I've done a drinking game on it, where you take a shot if there's a bass drop, where you take a shot if there's a glitch intro, where you take a shot if there's a stolen, which is something that goes under the table a lot, or everybody stealing riffs from, what was it? It was Morse code. It was a joke about Morse code. It was like, with the thal aspect of it, the 001001. Never fret. Star 077, rock on, man. How's it going, dude? Brian Jenkins, I agree. My bands write songs that we want to hear a band play. That's the key, really. I always remember thinking, when I was starting to write, I wanted to write to impress my idols. I didn't write to be them. I wanted to write to impress them, you know. And it happened a couple of times where they listened to my music, and I got that big thumbs up from them, which is great. My proudest moment, speaking of me being the metal underground, does anyone remember a band called Skyclad from Britain? Well, Skyclad were like a hippie coven type of folk metal band before it was, now folk metal is massive, you know. But they were one of the first to do it properly. And the singer used to be in Sabbath, and Sabbath is my all-time thrash band, you know. I love them. So my band, Season's End, was supporting Skyclad, and there was a meet and greet before it where Skyclad were doing a sign-in in the by the fish market in the local, you know, record store that all the metalheads used to hang out in. And my demo was playing, the Season's End demo was playing, and the singer was signing away. Was it Martin Walkier or something? He was signing away, and he looked up and he said, "Who is this playing?" And I said, "It's my band." He said, "This is fucking amazing." He said, "I've never heard it because it's brand new." And, you know, the thrash in Britain, there wasn't many good thrash bands, to be frank. There was Zentrix, and Zentrix were actually playing on the same bill. Blew Zentrix off the fucking stage. But that was like those moments where your idols like say, "This is awesome," without even knowing that it was you. That was a key moment for me. Maybe I should upload that old demo that I was playing on there. The guy that recorded that demo ended up going to record in Abbey Road Studios, which is nice. So he was a talented man. But even when he gave me the demos recently, he said, "I'm sorry about the bass," because back then there was no bass guitar in any of the metal shit. So what's going on? What's crack-a-lacking? Just having some technical difficulties with the chat. So yeah, I think my main advice for getting out of the failed model, which is a DAW, it's a failed model. My advice is you have to do it. You have to do it with others so that others are writing with you. So you're not just one man, you know, in a box with a DAW churning out your old tired ideas. You got somebody else might be pushing you a little bit, you know. And with that, it's often good to have somebody who is as good or better than you in the band, so that you try and impress them, you know, because that always helped me in the past. but it's something I didn't do. I wasted fucking decades on this because I did get good at recording, and it's nobody cares. The public hate modern metal recordings. They hate the style. They hate the presence and now how everything is, everything is popping, and they don't like that. They like a bit of spit and sawdust. So my advice is you gotta get in a room with other savages and record the bones of the music with somebody else, not you, not your friend, not the bass player's brother who has a fucking laptop. You record it, you practice it, and you'll know you're good enough. You'll know it's good, it's tight enough, because if you're going to pay money to get it recorded, well then that's a commitment. So you make a commitment to recording your own stuff with somebody else. So that's my advice. It's got to be a band house or a garage or somewhere where you all hang out and you play together, because that's what those millions of people are not doing. The millions of people who are failing, they're all plugging into a VST with Easy Drummer and fake bass, all right? And that's how they're doing it. And that's what you're hearing. 95% of the music that you're hearing is one guy in a bedroom, in the underground anyway. So you can break out of that straight away if you do it a different way. If you grind, instead of putting all of your hours into learning how to record and learning how to set cameras and learning how to do all this shit that it's not as satisfying as being in a band. And I keep on saying it, being in a band and failing is way more fun than this, because you are going to fail. There's a 0.0001% chance that you are going to make it using this, right? You're not going to fucking defeat the Matrix, right? But your percentage goes up if you're actually playing clubs, if you're actually getting out there, go to the music is, and sticking your foot in the door. That's the only way you're going to get noticed. Plus, I would, if I was you, set up like that garage I was talking about, set it up with webcams and a mixer, and work on your mix every time, and then you can have a gig online. You can stream your music, literally playing. You can stream you rehearsing. You can stream yourself jamming. It doesn't have to be a finished thing. But if you have a setup that's always on and you're playing with others, it has a vibe that is in the gene of the music lover. The rock and metal music lovers, they have a gene down and dirty, right? And it's not this pristine fucking everything in sync, everything snapped to a grid shit that everybody's pumping out, which has inadvertently killed rock and metal, killed public interest in rock and metal. Most of the people in my chat are going to be guitarists, so it's mostly musicians that are going to be listening to modern rock and metal. So you're not grabbing the public by the balls. If you stream yourself every other night, stream every rehearsal, you never know who might be looking or popping up to see you play. And then word of mouth will spread online, or say, hey, there's a cool band that keeps on practicing on a Friday night, you should check them out. They're a good hardcore band, or they're a good, avant-garde, this or whatever. So that's my advice, man. The guitar nerds, the single guy in his basement, has ruined rock and metal. The clever guys, the tidy guys, the neat guys, the fucking guys that got all this shit together, they ruined fucking metal, because it's usually sloppy fucking nightmare messes that have personality, that has a story to tell, that actually has some balls, some sex, drugs, rock and roll, bit of swagger, bit of fucking snake hips. These are the people that make it, not these fucking people that look like me, overly thinking about it. It's like, how many, you guys in the chat, how many fucking songs have you got on your computer that have been going for past 5 years and you haven't finished it? You're just one boost, one microphone away, right? If only you had that compressor, so then it would be perfect, right? Nope. If only you had a savage drummer behind you making people's fucking tits bleed. If only you had a bass player that was holding it down and you were fucking riffing off him. If that's what people want, Anyway, let's read some comments. Brian Jenkins, jamming together is key. Hell yeah. Yep. Understatement, dude. Let me turn my mic up a bit. Hold on. Is that better? Maybe even more. Maybe even more. Dude, I am pushing it to the fucking limit. That's what rock and metal's all about. I got my microphone gain up. We're playing with goddamn fire now, brother. Oh god, Poopy Donkey Robot's here. Prepare yourself for his knowledge in the chat. Stephen Herkson. Good morning, sausages. The Faustian Man. My lead singer's girlfriend plays the bass. I think she'd be perfect for the band. Band breaks up 3 months later. Yeah, dude. This is this. If you're watching live and you happen to be a girl that's just tuned in, go away. Get out of here. This is heavy metal. This is rock. No girls allowed. This is sausages only. Anthony Gates. How's it going, man? We got Aurora's Peak. An open mind is the true key. Anthony Gates, top G. Be interesting to see how he escapes the Matrix. Ryan Swain. Owen is making fake... What? Owen is making fake posters saying LA Mayor Karen Bass will house the homeless in her office with a dress on it next week for content. Wish me luck. Hey. Get me arrested. Poopy Donkey Robot. I did warn you. Here we go. Anyone down with some good old-fashioned grandpa swapping? It's Friday night. You might get some offers on that. Aurora Speak. Hey, Owen. You should keep these streams at this time because 12 p.m. in Australia here. Long-time fan of the channel. Yeah, I think... what time is it now? It's a bit earlier than normal. It would have been even earlier, but my camera decided to be a Nikon and not a Sony. And Nikons suck. The Faustian Man at Poopy Donkey Robot. I love myself a lemon party, by the way, and I am a guitarist. Don't Google lemon party. It's old gentleman, and it gets a little bit salty. It's Golden Rain. Brian Jenkins. Playing shows is the best thing ever. 50500, play your butt off. That's what I'm saying. If you do it my way, playing live shows, constantly playing with a real band, not worrying about, not even giving recording a second fucking thought, apart from when you set it up in front of, get somebody to set it up for you in the basement so you can stream it, that is key. Because they will give you pointers. People will be listening, hey, the bass is fucking overloading. Then you can just trim it. Imagine how good your sound will be if you have a permanent setup with drum setup and everything, right, in one room. Imagine how good your sound will be in 2 months, because you'll be streaming. You can go back and listen to every stream and say, hey, I need a little bit less hi-hat in the mix. And then you move the mic. Next time you do that, imagine how good you'll sound after a couple of months. Your band will sound fucking legendary and way better than anything that you can go through bit blop blip land over here, And then if you fail, you've made friends, you've hung out, you've jammed together, you've got tinnitus. It's not a good thing. You might have banged a few barmaids, and you got some notoriety. And now people know that you're the guy in the scene and you're part of the scene. This online scene is fucking cold, man. And in fact, everybody complains, So it's like, sometimes there's good scenes online. Sometimes there are good eggs and stuff. There's good clubs, like the Facebook group for Circle of Town. Stephen Herkson, bruh, streaming my band's jams would be fun as hell. What am I saying? You don't even need to do fancy. You can just get just hang somebody's cell phone in the corner, A lot of them have good technology when it comes to limiting loud noises that come inside. Faustian Man, I know a guy who does $5 rock shows here in New York City. He's always looking for rock bands. Laptops are lame. So is Bob Rock. Bob Rock, yeah. He didn't help, did he? He made fucking Metallica cut their hair. Star 0777. It's all about rehearsal consistency. Bringing ideas into the room. I jam out a killer riff, I'll loop it with a looper pedal and throw it in the door and get some basic verse chorus structure. You can do that. Those looper pedals are really handy. The door should 100% be used for writing, writing just as a sketch pad for ideas. Snake hips. Ryan Swain, none. I just bang out songs and release them even if it's garbage. That's a good way too. You never know what's going to stick when you throw it out there, Aurora's Peak. I'm a sound engineer, multi-musician. The true key is to record the instrument with other musers in the room if possible, to try and capture both a little spill and tight recordings. Circle tone is the GOAT. Thank you, sir. I agree. There is that dimension that you get when you have bands blending into one sound. And I call it the nightclub effect. Have you ever stood outside of a nightclub and you hear whoop, 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 and somehow that shit is so satisfying, right? What that is it's corners farting out, it's the lower bass, it's the extremities. What you have, microphones pick up, not as much of low end as that, but microphones will pick up spill from other instruments. They will pick up bass drums, and and that you cannot recreate that in a DAW. So instantly you're recording something that 99.9% of the other bands don't have. You have a little sound, an effect, a reverb, a natural fucking spillage in the village, and they don't have it, and you'll have it. And what also had it, all the fucking classic albums, metal, rock from back in the day, all them, they had it. But in this DAW era, let's separate that. Let's do the drums first, and then the guitar, and then the bass, and then the vocals, and then the this, and then the that, and then throw it out there after thousands of hours of you and blood, sweat, and tears, and nobody the fucker's going to listen to it. That's why I think people in our community, in our scene, should start telling others to live stream their music. Because that's why I want the Fuck You Network to happen. The Fuck You Network is an idea of mine where we can have some sort of an app where it'll have like a TV station of all the live. It could be me complaining about the state of modern rock and metal, and then another channel could be your live rehearsal, could be changing strings, but you're a funny Scottish bastard. You know what I mean? Some people are entertaining with that when they do the most mundane things. But if we have a lot of the underground on this channel, and it'd have to be a self-updating app so that when you go live, you don't have to say, oh, I'm on live now, and then paste your link. You don't have to do that. I want it to be pre-registered so it'll detect you if you go live. So that is something that I want to work on. It's kind of... I'm dragging my feet on a little bit, because why would somebody who claims rock and metal is dead invest his time and money into something like that, when I think it's going the same way as jazz, which I do think. I think the pull on the DAW is too far. I think the advice on recording has gone too far, and we're way beyond changing course, which is why my little channel is like shouting into the fucking void, But it's like I've done videos on rock and metal is dead fucking 6-7 years ago, and it's got worse. The metal scene is even fucking worse. I mean, what's popping now? Deftones? Like old bands? Shit, dude. Star 0777. So after you've worked on looping your verses and choruses, you send it to the rest of the band, and then you jam it out in the rehearsal room. That's it, man. And then people can interject, say, change this, shorten that, My advice when doing that type of thing, what I've always done, if there's a boring part in a song, if there's a part that drags or is boring, I work on that specific part to make it the best part of the whole song. So it could be a little lick, a little spice, throw some fairy dust on it just to make, because then it's not a sticking point then, and these little, because songs are usually formulaic, so sometimes if something is supposed to go one way but it goes another, then it's interesting to the brain. Ryan Swain, Owen, can we let trans men with a doctor's made sausage? It's not vanilla bland. I see what you're saying, where I said there's no girls allowed to watch this stream because it's for smelly boys only. So technically, trans, technically, that's maybe a grey area where you can come in here as a girl posing as a boy with a sausage. It'd have to be a British pork sausage, right? No spice, no taste, no flavour. Frank S. Vocals are the cake. Everything else is icing. Dude, yeah. And what are rock and metal vocalists obsessing about now? They're all in the mirror doing their fucking Lorna Show vocal exercises. Trying to be someone else, you know? Yeah, vocals are the actual... doesn't even have to be the lyrics, just the melody and the energy and the honesty and the grabbing people by the soul. A lot of bands... I don't know half the lyrics to some of my favorite bands because I concentrate on different things when listening to the music rather than lyrics, but plus I'm slightly retarded. Mar 12. I looked into the VHS recording and wow, that sent me down a rabbit hole. I did find a video that demonstrates tape compression, so in theory it was right. I told you, dude. If you don't know what I'm talking about, all right? VHS, video cassette recorders, right? They come out with a technology called hi-fi audio, right? And hi-fi audio is on par with CD audio quality, right? So you have millions of old VCRs going for $10, $20, right? If you find one with the hi-fi audio on it, with audio inputs and outputs, that is a tape machine, no digital. There's no digital converters in there. It's a tape machine that records CD quality, right? So what I was thinking was, can you get the overloaded tape saturation through the VCR? I bet you there is some sort of limiter in there, but even those limiters, the old school limiters, actually sometimes they sound good. So I'm thinking, can I bounce my goddamn drums into this tape, overload it, and then send it back into the DAW? Can I put the whole mix through to this tape and overload the mix so you get that nice pumpy drum sound, you know? So there is a nice harmonic distortion that you get from overloaded tape. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it's overdone. I noticed Blink 182 really overdid that that tape saturation on the drums, and it sounded fucking terrible. So you can overdo it. You can become too hipster on the new stuff they released. But yeah, VHS, man, I haven't tried it out yet. I keep on looking around to see if they're in here. I got the tapes and the VHS somewhere, you know? Charles Wagner, how's it going, man? Ryan Swain. The Owen rant's the funniest thing. I think he gave up announcing that he's trying not to. I see Satan. I can't find reliable musicians. Dude, that is the thing, but how much do you want it? Is it hard? Is it hard? You gotta fucking get them. Grip them. Like, what was that Grace Jones say on Conan when she wanted a man? You just grab him and take him. So you grab him and take him. Don't say no. Don't take no for an answer. And I want to see you on the news for, holding people against their will to play bass. But it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy finding somebody who can play, let alone finding somebody who isn't fucking retarded. And then you got a drummer. And with a drummer comes the baby mama or two, you know. They're always broke. Everyone's always fucking broke. Everyone's got excuses. Everyone just fell off a ladder in work. Everyone's got a pain in the ass mother that won't let them out after 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? It's not easy, dude. I live in a fucking graveyard. I live in Florida's graveyard, where there's nothing but old people around here. I went up to Orlando recently, and holy shit, I was like, there's young people live here. And not like, you know, looks like Bart's fucking grandfather walking around everywhere shouting at clouds. I'm a catch. I'm a young whippersnapper in my neck of the woods. Rusty Shackelford. If rock needs to be sexy to stay alive, what do guitar nerds have to do with becoming sexy? They do need to become sexy. Look at Polyphia. Polyphia, they got a good image, man. You know, it's not the first bite is with the eye with them because they look cool. You know, if you like certain types of anime type of stuff. Guitar is a bit ugly, the other one, but you know, they put him in the shadows anyway, just like he deserves to be. He's the mushroom. He's just every bit as good. of a musician. But yeah, you do need to, rock and metal needs to bring a bit of sexy back, you know. I don't give a fuck what you say. A lot of bands that were into Black Flag and stuff like that, you know, we know which era of Black Flag they like, put it that way. Silman X, how's it going, man? Finally caught the chat live. All right, here we are. You're in the thick of it. Sausages only, no girls allowed. Perhaps when there are actually girls in my chat, maybe rock and metal will actually be back alive. So the hell will freeze over before there's a girl in the chat. Aurora's Peak. Jerry Cantrell with Alice in Chains. Oh shit. Goth Rocker, he's back in the house. How's it going, man? Thanks for the 20. You're off from work tonight. Happy I caught the screen. Please check out your Patreon email when you can. I need to send you something. Need your address. Send to my Patreon when you can. Keep rocking. Richard P. I will, man. I'll be in there later on. Thanks for the 20. That's the famous Richard P that I always shout out in my videos, Richard P and Co, when it comes to my patrons. I was listening to Failure today, actually. Ryan Swain. By the way, I'm making and going and posting the Karen Bass posters for content. Let's see. Let's get back on track. Thanks again for the 20, dude. So Jerry Cantrell with Alice in Chains and his solo band are both killing it in metal and rock right now. I love their album Brighton. It's killer. Check it out. I didn't check it out. Do you mean it's Alice in Chains or his solo band? That's good to know. I'd like to check out his Friedman amp. That'd be interesting. The Faustian Man. Phil Spector used to have to pull guns on bands to make them stay and finish. He pulled a gun on Joey Ramone, but he made him play pinball all night. yeah. A lot of that era was nuts, man. Just absolute cocaine frenzies. But then he'd be on a... he'd have the record labels breathing down his neck to finish stuff. So then you'd have all these Playboy musicians and everything just fucking around the studio. And then his hand would come down when you needed to record. You should record. And his, his sound was amazing, that era. And as it happens, the Kinks, You Really Got Me, I believe that was a Phil Spector acolyte, a young, like he's practically a T-boy. But then he went over to the UK because he had worked with Phil Spector on his resume. He got lots of big jobs in the UK as a young producer. And he actually put some of his money up because Sony wouldn't pony up to put out that specific song, You Really Got Me. And then he went to a decent studio, used his own money, and so he got good credits on You Really Got Me. And, he obviously learned a good few things from Phil Spector because he practically, one of the first, like, pop song single number one hits that had distortion was one of the earliest songs, big hit, with guitar distortion on it. And they actually cut the speaker for You Really Got Me, the guitar tone. They actually cut the speaker with, I think it was a razor, to get that flappy sound. And I recreated it on my channel. Check it out. Search Circle of Tone and You Really Got Me. And I actually cut up the speaker. And I loved the sound of that speaker, right? I cut the speaker up and it did sound just like it. I used my Shipwreck with it, a little 18 watt tube amp. And I loved that speaker. And I actually had it on top of my cabinet, right? And I did an episode for Does It Doom. And I was playing so loud in there that the vibrations made that speaker finally fall off and it just fucking practically shattered. So that my one speaker, which was perfect for old school rock, you know, for like, Are You Gonna Go My Way, that type of sleazy guitar rock sound. And I fucked my speaker up. I remember throwing it out thinking, God fucking damn it. That was a tough one. Because I've done videos on repairing speakers. If you search Circle of Tone speaker repair, you can see how I repair speakers when they do have a rip in them. But this one was like fucking, you know, it needed a priest. Ryan Swain, from Bradenton to Fort Myers is 80 years old. Yeah, it's rough, man. In Florida. Iskral Poost. Tim Henson is clearly going trans. I have a question about Tim Henson. I've noticed his voice has been changing. So is he on hormones? Has he talked about it? Because it sounds like his voice is breaking, which happens when you do take hormones to switch sides. So I was talking about them earlier, where he's got a good image, you know, for rock and metal. But is he going all in? Because I've noticed his voice has gone up a register. It's pretty. It sounds like it to me, like his voice is breaking again. Cyril May next. Did guitar nerds ruin the scene, or did the internet and people sitting on computers alone for 20 years ruin the scene? Yeah. Yeah, because when you're sitting in front of a screen, in front of a computer, in front of a phone, your life journey does not have many good tales. It's all tales of others that you're looking at. You're looking at, you know, people falling off bikes, or you're looking at bum fights or whatever. And you're not living your own life, you're living somebody else's life. So I'm not surprised that the actual quality of songwriting has come down, because nobody's got a fucking story to tell anymore, you know? I mean, one of the earliest metal songs, Smoke on the Water, that was real events where I think it was Frank Zappa played this beautiful, like, Palladium type of place on a river in Europe. And I think his pyrotechnics set the whole fucking place on fire. And so the whole of Deep Purple were recording close by, and they just saw that whole venue go up in flames. It was nuts. So Smoke on the Water is literally about them witnessing, you know, a fatal event in real time. Them out there on the road, living life. You're not going to learn shit, you know, in front of your computer. In fact, you're going to regress. Iskral Proust. Guns N' Roses was the coolest looking band that was also highly talented. Yeah, and I'll also put in there, speaking of Phil Spector holding a gun to people's heads, Axl Rose pretty much did that to half the band. He was the one that was least fucked up at the time, because the band were completely shit-faced all the time. So getting them into playing shape was tough on that album. So yeah, Guns N' Roses. I remember the first time I ever heard them. My friend got it on cassette, right? And I was about 18, and we got drunk at the park. We went troll hunting, because we used to get drunk in the park and go looking for trolls. I hope my mother isn't listening to this now. Trolls as in fat girls. And after a unsuccessful night of trolling, we went, and I was sleeping in his house, and I was on the floor in a sleeping bag, and I was listening to it for the first time. You know, the intro. Dun, 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 dun. I had headphones on. Dun, 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 dun. So I was all drunk. I had a good time. I was laying on the floor, and I was getting into it and falling asleep, in and out of sleep. And I was listening to the whole album thinking, I'm a thrash guy. I'm not supposed to like this, but it's the only thing he had. And I remember thinking how fucking cool it was. And then I was drowning. I was literally drowning. I'd fallen asleep. And his Dio poster, he had a massive Holy Diver poster that was tacked to the ceiling. But I think it was like blue tack because it came off. And it fell. And it just fell on my face as I was sleeping. So I was half asleep listening to Guns N' Roses. And I remember thinking there was something on my mouth and I couldn't breathe and I was sucking it in. I opened my mouth and I'm like half awake, half drunk. Getting night terrors and shit. It was fucking Holy Diver all up in my face. So that's the first time I ever listened to Guns N' Roses. And I thought, this is fucking amazing. That was the time to be alive, man. Being a teenager in the height of all that shit popping off. It's crazy. Matt Turner, oh snap. I got in for some Black Flag discussion. Might have to go back a ways. It was only Black Flag was only brought up quick. Is Growlpost, how did nerds ruin the scene? That's a long conversation. If you search Circle of Tone and Fantano, that's one of my videos where I talk about how copycats and the DAW, everything snapped to a grid, everything perfect, everything, when everything is huge, nothing is huge. So everything it's hard because on the extreme end of it, it became white noise, and on the technical side of it, it just became masturbatory, you know. So basically, the DAW doesn't help rock and metal. It never has. As soon as it was introduced to everybody, you can see the interest in rock and metal just go down off a fucking cliff. As soon as everybody was using that medium to record with, interest went off a cliff. But guitarists were the main aspect, the main body of musicians that gravitated towards this. I don't know why. It's guitarists. You don't see a lot of drummers, you know, being DAW nerds. But so guitarists, maybe because they grow on trees and there's more of them, or I don't know what it is, but so guitarists overtook the recording duties and then the bass duties, and then pretty much started mousing in the drums, so they didn't even need a full band. So then when there's a lack of good competition with drummers, they kind of like, you can't get a job as a drummer now, so why even be a drummer? So drummers started getting out of metal. You know, all the gigs were in country and stuff like that. So little by little, this DAW era, the digital audio workstation, which is like Pro Tools, most of the public know it as Pro Tools, that is what killed rock and metal. And it's mostly guitarists that are in control of the mouse, you know? And it's all those guitarists that are learning how to play, so then they learn, how do I play like Periphery? And then they fucking become Periphery, you know? How do I sound like Entombed? And then off they go with a heavy metal 2-pedal, fucking like winding up these bots. How do I sound like Motorhead? Oh, here we go, down to get the Marshall, get the bullet belt. You know, the look's got to be exactly like, I must not have my own look. Destroy the scene. Destroy the scene. Matt Turner, some of us lads might have to transition if we want any girls in here. Some of you are passable. Cascade Explorer, good evening, Owen. Is the back feeling better? My back is now at 100%. I was working out today at the gym, pushing up fucking numbers, brother. Aurora's Peak. Failure has a new documentary coming out. They are so good. Aurora's Peak. Failure are like 90s distilled 90s garage rock in a fucking bottle, man. It's good. I've only just really discovered them. I've always heard of them, but so there's a new documentary coming out. That'll be good. I'll check that out. Thanks for the insider information. Matt Turner. Or, you know, get a haircut and shower, whichever. Yeah, we're not fussy. Matt Turner, I love how the drums flop around on You Really Got Me. The shaky intro really makes it. Yeah, the drummer fucked up the intro. He fucked it up, but it just works. He's like rushing to get into it. You're right. The Faustian Man. Damn, that's a great story. Never knew about that when You Really Got Me. And Van Halen would never had their first single. Pretty awesome. Check it out. Yeah, check it out. Israel Pust. He hasn't talked about it, but I've noticed the voice thing too. It's so bizarre. Yeah, I was wondering, maybe he was sick. Maybe he was just ill or something. But I've noticed his voice has gone up an octave. Ryan Swain. I would assume, not from my knowledge, if estrogen doesn't affect the vocal tone or influx. I don't know. You know, I've noticed it does. I've noticed trend and stuff like that really does affect the voice box from women, where they do sound more manly. I'm not sure if it goes the other way. Goth Rocker 7, Jerry Cantrell's solo album from 2002, Degradation Trip, is an album I always go back to, especially the 2-disc full version that they eventually released. I feel many people overlook that album. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of lost track with Jerry Cantrell. I am such a neckbeard. I only like their early stuff. I was actually disappointed with them Bones. I loved Facelift so much. It had so much to live up to. And then, you know, the second album came out and I was like, this is good, but, you know, it's not quite as good as the first one. And I still think that. I only like their old stuff. Ryan Swain, if Tim Henson's voice is changing, it's probably vocal training. My knowledge about estrogen is it doesn't change vocal tone, it just changes your secondary sex characteristics. Yeah. It's Girl Poost. Tim Henson's girlfriend is also a weird full-blown anime NPC cartoon girl wannabe also. Hey, good for him, man. I don't think he's worried about snarky comments. He's living life. He's also not like people make fun of him and everything. He just looking at him, I know that he actually like works out and stuff. You can tell. You can tell he's not like limp wristed and weak, even though he's very effeminate. But I probably he'd fuck up half of us bitches. Do we have any Twitchers talking? Because I'm getting some notifications. Obviously not. Nobody on Twitch. It's Growl Poost. It always blows my mind how talented Slash was at such a young age. Shouldn't even be possible. Dude, some rumors that it wasn't all Slash on that Appetite for Destruction. There's rumors that it was another guitarist. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But apparently some session there were people hanging around, but it is really, really amazing. Some of the solos on that album were fantastic. Especially if he fucked up. He broke like a 60s SG through a window or something on that because it wouldn't stay in tune because it's an SG. Goth Rocker 7, Guns N' Roses, the name alone was brilliant. I still love the Use Your Illusion album. Some people hated Axl for making these large, lush albums, but they stand the test of time. Appetite is also great. Yeah, I'm a big fan of both those eras. I didn't like, I think, was it Use Your Illusion, the acoustic album? I thought, what a flop, you know? Sucked, that sucked, but the other stuff, I'm all for it. I even gave the Chinese Democracy a few good tries, but it sounds so shit. It's just not happening, dude. It just sounds bad. Like the musicianship isn't, it's like beyond plastic. It's beyond old school. The noise lows, the loudness lows, the wars. You know. Ah shit, goth rocker with a 10. Thanks, man. Any plans for more Typo Negative covers, deep dives? Follow me here in the Northeast again. And I love Failure. They put out so much sound as a three-piece. I love their albums. Long live Typo Negative. Yes, I am going to be doing, at the very least, Redwater by Typo Negative for Christmas, because that was one of my favorite Typo Negative songs. And also Frozen. Not the too late part, too late for apologies. I'll be doing the Frozen part of Frozen. So I can't wait to do that one. I tried doing it recently and it sucked, so I just shelved it. But I will be doing more Type of Negative. They're going to be on Patreon, but if one of you wants to listen to it, I'll send you a link if you're in chat. I don't care. But it won't. I don't think I'm going to be putting them up to YouTube anymore, because YouTube is the devil. Yeah, Jack Frost. Dio tried to kill me. Yes, he did. It's Growlpurst. There are some mistakes. There are some misses on Use Your Illusion, but the hits are some of the best hard rock songs of all times. Yeah, there's a lot of hits and misses, but when they do it right, Guns N' Roses can't beat it. I like Axl Rose, man. I like that he's an asshole. He's like a diva. Good. There's not enough dickheads in rock and metal. Matt Turner. I'm a drummer door nerd. I can program drums and you'd never know it, I swear. Matt Turner. You're on the dark side. You're a drummer. It's like, killing your own kind. Jeff Young. I'm late into getting into Mastodon, but Brand's drumming is so refreshing. It's the opposite of easy drummer sound. Dude, why don't people cotton on that the successful bands like Mastodon, like Gojira, they have a real fucking drummer that's always rehearsing with them? Real ass drums. Why can't people just fucking get it, It pisses me off. He is so good. He is such a good drummer. I like his voice too. Ryan Swain. I live in an extremely LGBTQ city. Trust me, high voices are not common with trans women. Yeah. Yeah. All right. It's ma'am. Explorer 213. Beato said it well. No one updated their DAW after Pro Tools 9. The entire industry just reached peak tech and they couldn't move forward. Yeah. Silmain X. Failures magnified is insane. We're talking about the band Failure, by the way, if you're new to chat. It's got turned on to it by Goth Rocker. Classic 90s sound. Just 90s. It's as 90s as you could possibly get. And why not? Ken and Greg made the whole album in a bedroom apartment with an amp in a closet and a drum machine. That's great. Tune Memoriam. Requiem for Mankind. 2016 is the best Bolt Thrower album for them. I hope you heard it. Hell yeah, I did. Yeah, Memoriam is good shit, man. Bolt Thrower just absolute grind gods. In my opinion, the best ever grindcore band. There's a bit of argument in the chat to see if Tim Henson, his voice is due to hormones. Due to all jokes aside, Tim is definitely amongst the most talented players in the world right now. I like what I like about him with Tim Henson is he will look the camera in the eye and say, I wanted to be the best guitarist in the world. And consensus right now, he's in the top of that list. So he did it. He's got some fucking balls, man. He's got some fucking a bit of swagger. You know what I mean? What's missing in rock and metal? People, he rubs up a lot of the neckbeards up the wrong way, but I love it. I love that he's confident. You know what I mean? And does, and he got there. He's got the skills. He's got the skillage in the village. Oh, Lies was the acoustic Guns N' Roses, yeah. Ryan Swain. I knew someone who went to a Guns N' Roses concert and bagged on the audience for not being into Chinese democracy. She's the most die-hard Guns N' Roses fan I've ever heard of. Yeah. Dude, Guns N' Roses, like, Axl Rose would pop up on his own message board back in the day. I'm not sure if he still does it. That shit was fucking hilarious. Talk about, imagine having a drunk, drug-addled rocker come and fucking rage bait on his own if somebody just says the wrong thing. He would be banning like people from concerts, from Guns N' Roses concerts, if they were wearing a Slash Snake Pit t-shirt and shit. He was so petty, man. I love it. Rock and roll. Vasilis Lolo, say, how's it going, man? Hey, yo. Dropping in to say hi and get some sleep. Circle of Tone is the best underground zine. Right. And he's saying to Goth Rocker, Vasilis Lolos, me and him, he does cursed 8-bit art. He's a fucking fantastic artist. And we were going to do a typo negative cartoon just really in frames along with what I do next. So it's going to happen. But once I got music good enough for him to start like working on the art, I think it'll be cool. It'll definitely be a cool video. I'll put that on YouTube for sure, just to spread his art, you know. Ryan Swain, Owen, if I send a DM, can I get access to your rock and metal rants that got taken down? Are you in the Circle of Tone Facebook group? I might be able to send you links to them there. Faustian Man, to Goth Rocker 7. Some news for you. Pete was raised in Brooklyn, but moved away shortly after to Pennsylvania. It was cheaper. At first he was living in Philly, and then he moved to Scranton, PA, and would commute to New York. Oh, interesting. Rumcore. I Godflesh my drums, motherfucker. Yeah, Godflesh. I actually, if you search Circle of Tone and Godflesh, I can tell you exactly the drum machine they used. I got it all in the description. In fact, I actually used the same drum machine samples in my demo of Godflesh. Matt Turner for the 10. Thanks, man. What level of autotune can you stomach before it turns you off a song or an artist? My limit is Chino on Saturday Night Roast. Anything past that, I can't ignore it. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Yeah, it's with... I've noticed with modern rock and metal, the autotune, it's subtly used, so you don't actually notice it that often, but then sometimes when it does that share effect, you know, the Lil Jon thing, then it gets a bit sketchy. So I'm kind of happy that autotune doesn't pop up that much where it's noticeable in rock and metal. You know, it's almost like one of the rules that people will not breach. But when it's done on purpose, it all depends. It's horses for courses. Sometimes I like the effect, you know. Yeah, autotune it's the least of our worries in rock and metal. I forgot to bring a drink. I'm thirsty. Yeah, Godflesh. You know what's Rumcore? It's talking to Godflesh. I am so fucking disappointed. I am disappointed in the metal community. Because you would think, with everything snapped to a door, with how ridiculously powerful all our sample capabilities are, where's all this fucking amazing industrial metal? Where is it? We should be drowning in that shit right now. There's something about that I'm going to bring up the VHS tape again, the tape distortion. Maybe there is something about the mix of old analog modules with tape, the hitting of the tape. Maybe that's the fucking part of the, that gene that I'm talking about. Maybe it doesn't work where it's recorded straight to digital, where it just lacks a little bit of that flutter, that wow, that color, the warmth. Everyone hates it when I say warmth. Mark 12. Get Death Grips. Ex-military is more metal than most modern metal. Yeah, there's Death Grips. They're valid, but you have to admit some of that shit is just unlistenable. Where they go down the avant-garde noise trope a little bit too much. I'm also disappointed in rap metal because you'd think that we'd be fucking absolutely drowning in that shit, but we're not. There's nothing good. There's a City Morgue is good. There's a couple that's good, but yeah. Ryan Swain. Oh, and what are the odds I build a massive audience and go into PR warfare with the US government and don't get Epsteined? What do you mean Epsteined? He killed himself. 100%. I like Biden. Please boost me in the algorithm. Hillary Clinton did great things in Haiti. Beethoven, how's it going, man? Uh-oh. Just checking comments. Hey, I'm going to step out for 5 seconds. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm just going to grab some water and stuff. So can you all just compare sausages? And I'll be right back. I'll be back. The Faustian Man, $10. Justin Bieber rules. Now, Justin Bieber, drummer, guitarist, singer, dancer, having nice hair haver. Oops. Justin Bieber. Turn myself down. Justin Bieber was a success. He was a YouTube kid just putting up his music on YouTube, and record labels were like, hello, who's this kid that all these girls are phoning over? And they plucked him up into obscurity. Out of obscurity. I wonder if that, like Billie Eilish, like everybody else, was like a lie, you know? Because a lot of these folksy tales, when it comes to artists, a lot of them are just industry plants. So I wonder if his story is a little bit different from just being discovered. But he played hockey. He could kick most of your asses. People make fun of Justin Bieber. They don't realize he was a absolute talent. I hate his music because I am the internet's neckbeard. But sometimes, you know, real has to respect real, and he is a real one. I'm amazed he's still alive. I'm amazed the amount of success he had. So yeah, Justin Bieber does rule. Thanks for the 10, man. All right, I'm going to catch up on Matt Turner. Thanks for the 10 too. You guys are awesome. Justin Bieber rules. I tell you what, I would listen to Justin Bieber over half of modern metal that's coming out today. I genuinely would. I think his song Lonely was actually pretty good. And Lonely was something he sang about that's real in his life, about being isolated as a poor, handsome millionaire celebrity. Poor me, right? I'm so lonely because I can't trust who my real friends are. I wouldn't care who my friends are. It's like, you know, they're sitting on your face, they're sitting on your face. All right, I'm going to speed chat some. I'm going to fire off some answers at some of these questions or statements. Slimmer than X. Until we get someone out of their houses and getting life experience, the scene won't recover. Lars, James, Mario, Joe, Andre, Hansi, Mustaine, Elson, Abath, Demonas. You're right. You're right. A lot of those interactions. I mean, what the fuck? Just Hetfield meeting Mustaine. Would Kill 'Em All have come out if it wasn't for him meeting Mustaine? Would Metallica even be a thing? Most of the songs on Kill 'Em All was Dave Mustaine songs. You know? I mean, Hetfield was an absolute fucking god. Don't get me wrong. He might have made it either way. But, you know, and would thrash have been as good as it is, as massive a scene as it was to generate the Metallicas and then go on to other genres like Pantera? Would it have even been a thing if Dave Mustaine didn't have a fucking blood oath that he wanted to be better than Metallica? You know? To create Peace Out, to create, you know, Rust in Peace. Fucking amazing albums. You can argue Rust in Peace was every bit as good as Metallica, but, you know, it just fails on the numbers. But amazing stuff, you know, and it is. So these are people that are either working together or then against each other to create something bigger than them, you know. You are right. On the next one. What happened to my chat? It's Corel Purst. I think TikTok had a hand in destroying music. Kids only know these 15 seconds of songs, so producers and artists work for that. The TikTok actually, I've some of the advice that I've given earlier was how to live stream your band. You can go on TikTok and see a real band play live with tens of thousands of people in their chat giving them donations. These are rock bands playing on TikTok right now. Don't look at it as a 15-second fucking dance app. TikTok, if anything, is going to be the future of a lot of you guys. And if you can get some infamy on TikTok, TikTok do lives now. You know, they do longer-ish form videos as well. But TikTok isn't something to be scoffed at. Half of you guys in my chat are better than the musicians that are getting tens of thousands of views on their videos on TikTok. So don't overlook it, dude. Just, you can't beat them, join them. TikTok really is the best algorithm for figuring out what you like. So on your For You page, it's going to be stuff that you like. It's not going to be girls dancing, unless, you know, you're Tim Henson. Anime girls. It's going to be stuff that you're into. So stuff that I'm into pops up on my For You page. It really does. And it's all out there. It's not just built for teenagers. Trust me. So TikTok can help. Ryan Swain. Oh no, the progressive bots have taken over. Beep boop, bleep, boop, boop, spaceship 1001. She burned me. The Faustian man, how did he hurt his back? Was it moving those Marshall stacks? Glad he's better. And I remember he mentioned his air conditioning was broken. That's right. In one miserable week, my air conditioning in Florida was out and it was 90 degrees in my house. And I couldn't move without literally screaming. I fucked my back up so bad. But I'm all good now. The AC is on. I just turned the AC down. So if my vocal quality sounds a bit worse, my noise gate is working overtime to try and clean it up because right behind me it's going shh. Frank S. I love vanilla. Brian Swain. In all seriousness, TTS donations would make this a lot more enjoyable. Faustian man. I remember there was a video I was watching where these synth keyboard players were recording on VHS tapes. I forgot the name of the video. Yeah, VHS hi-fi audio is as good as CD quality, but it's tape. Interesting. Ryan Swain. Backstreet Boys, One Direction fans, you can come out of the neck bleed, won't hurt you. The Goth Rocker 7. The Peter Steele book is out of print by now, but it's called Soul on Fire, The Life and Music of Peter Steele by Jeff Wagner. I miss Type of Negative so much, dude. I miss them. I think about that band way too much. Because if only. It's time to get, AI Type of Negative songs, new ones. I'll take it. I'll fucking take it. It's girl pursed. Yes, it was definitely a lie about Justin Bieber. Just like Taylor Swift. Yeah, Taylor Swift's dad paid to get her a record deal. All these huge pop stars are created. Yeah. Let's check out Twitch chat. See what's going on. Hammerly, hi, how's it going? I got one chat in Twitch. See, we're spreading. The circle of tone, circle is getting bigger. Usually I go to Twitch and it's like some random guy angry that Rock is dead saying, oh, you don't know shit. All right, boys. The Faustian man. In the States, raising the drinking age to 21 hurt music, in my opinion, because 18-year-old bands couldn't hang in bars and make music and get their friends to see them. Yeah, the 21 to drink thing, it did impact a lot of bands. A lot of bands back in the day couldn't even play these gigs. They'd have to run onto stage and run off stage afterwards before they realized that they were under 18. You know, people like Death Angel, and they were like teenagers, and they looked like teenagers too. Looked like tweens. June, question for you. Although I wouldn't say it's a special, have you ever looked at Blackheim's guitar sound on either Brave Murder Day or Dance of December Souls? No, I haven't. I haven't checked that out, June. It's Growl first. Thanks for the 10, man. This has been really fun. Here's a new pack of string. Oh, 5 out of the 6. Yeah, right. The way string prices are. Thanks for the 10, dude. I appreciate it, man. You guys have been awesome tonight. Fun shit. I haven't read the Type O Negative book either. It's always been on my list. Oh, do they have an Audible for that? I'm not sure. Frank S. I stopped using tape because I kept having trouble with variations in tape speed. I used the Roland digital recorder in the 90s, but I couldn't get spacious mixes. Oddly enough, people were playing my tunes. The tape speed thing, the tapes are a fucking massive pain in the ass to keep going with the magnetization and the heads constantly fucking up and mechanical shit going on. It's actually it's a modern marvel when you really look at the tech of the hi-fi audio within the VHS era. It's fucking crazy how much tech they put into that box. It was no wonder those things were expensive as fuck to start with, you know. But yeah, I'm fed up with fucking talking about it. I should do it. I should just do. Maybe I'll do a video on it. Of does VHS audio clip? Rummy with the $10. Thanks, man. Metal has always had nerd shredders, not my bag. However, what's not helping the scene is too much downtuning, poor vocals, and slick production over performances. Can we not quad track every riff? Amen, man. You'd think with more strings that there'd be more creativity, right? And it's not. It's like, I know why. I think I know why. On modern guitar tones, to get the lowest open string, say the B string, to sound good when you chug it and ring it, you have to have a certain tone on the amp, right? Certain shelving to the low end. So as soon as you get to, say, the D string, that sounds like a fucking cat being set on fire. Shrill as fuck. So you have an aural fixation with the lower strings on the lower few frets. Because when you get outside of that, it sounds like ass, you know? So a part of the reason why downtuning, why gent is so, you know, thal, 10101, like boop, 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 is because that's what sounds the best. And it's all about fucking production. So everybody always wants to make sure that you know how heavy the song is. And it's all about how good it sounds, not how great the song is. So that's why there's so much emphasis on the lower frets when it comes to these styles of music, you know? Ah, shit. Yeah, Rumi, metal's always had shredders. And, like, look at the Shrapnel label. Shrapnel label didn't get big. The bands didn't get massive. Now, mainstream progressive metal acts are about as big as those old shredder label. They're making the same type of sales. They're playing the same type of venues that those bands, Cacophony and everything, played at. You know, they were great, but they're not fucking. The public are like, yeah, okay, nerd, you know. So it's like they were never big in the public, the shredder shit, and now that's what we worship. We worship that shredder, Shrapnel label type of artist are getting all the plaudits when it's just musicians kissing each other, musicians' asses. When it's not, the public are like, yeah, good luck with that, homo. Keep on fucking touching each other's asses with this fucking tone and technique, you know? I'm gay for metal. Yeah, Frank, do a video on the VHS. I think it has to be done. But the thing is, the main thing which is satisfying when it comes to tape distortion is drums. That's the big thing, because the tape distortion, what it does, when you have splashy hi-hats and chinas and stuff like that, there's something that digital does to that signal. It almost sounds like breaking glass. It doesn't sound good with digital. But with tape, it smooths, because it's not quite as hi-fi. It's not quite as the noise. There's less of a noise flow. Everything, the hiss, it just breaks up the fucking chintziness of cymbals and make it sound good. Plus, it pumps the bass and the snare. It gets pumpy when you start to overload the tape. So if we can do that, if I can export my shit fucking Easy Drummer drums and distort them with tape, and then put them back, and then maybe do the same thing with bass, where I'll just stem out a stereo, feed my bass into the VHS and then back. Maybe it'd be a bit of that glue that takes you over the edge, you know? Let me see if I've got one here. I might have one. Hold on. So hopefully I'm wearing pants. What have I got? Boo, 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 boo. Nope. There's no. I thought I had the VHS in here somewhere. But no. I do have this bad boy. Widdly wah, widdly wah. All right, chaps. Rumi. Yngwie and Vai are fine guitarists, but they cannot touch Judas Priest, Megadeth, or Maiden in terms of songs. They're playing solos to elevate the song. You're right, man. You're right. I mean, Steve Vai's songwriting wasn't his strong point, was it? You know, he's fucking. If you want to see the peak of swagger, the peak of fucking guitar swagger, go check out Whitesnake playing Donington with Steve Vai. Holy shit, boy. His solo in that was fucking nuts. You want to see some fucking razzmatazz? You want to see some razzle dazzle, boy? That shit's fucking great. I tell you what. I'll leave YouTube, and you go on YouTube. After this, you go search Whitesnake, Steve Vai, guitar solo, Donington. I think it's Donington. It might be a different one. But holy shit, dude. That shit was lit. And with that piece of advice, so you have your homework, go on Google to see how it was done back in the day. And you'll be throwing your fucking panties on